Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we talk about all things fandom on this channel. We talk about it in a positive way. If that's something that appeals to you, you know you've come to the right place. We're so happy to have you here today. And today we have to talk about a live-action Scooby-Doo television show being done by Netflix in the vein of Stranger Things. So let's jump right into it. Alright, so if you've been following this whole thing with Netflix buying Warner Brothers and all this other stuff that's been going on. Even the Stranger Things ending that just happened a few days ago. You know that a lot is changing over at Netflix. One of these things is that they're looking to broaden their horizons with new ventures. One of these is apparently a Scooby-Doo live action series. Now, what makes this different is that I heard this rumor a few days ago. And when I first heard the rumor, it stated that one of the actresses from Stranger Things, in fact, wanted to do a live action Scooby-Doo. Now, I disregarded that as something that was probably untrue. But the more things started to progress with the story, the more plausible a live action Scooby-Doo became. So what ended up happening is that they announced there would be a Scooby-Doo live-action TV show. Now, this is really cool because apparently it's going to take a darker turn. It's going to be more Riverdale and Stranger Things. Now, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a bad thing. I say that we wait and find out. Because finally, we do have some information about the show. And we know a little bit about what the rumor is regarding its plot, regarding its overall description of itself. This comes from what's on Netflix.com. And I've heard it reported a few other places, so this is kind of something that we could take with a little bit more of a grain of salt than we could a couple of days ago. So Netflix is doing a Scooby-Doo live-action series, and it begins filming, according to them, on April 2026. And here's what we know. Mystery Inc. is officially heading to Netflix in a major move for the streamer Netflix, which confirmed in March of 2025 that it had greenlit a brand new live-action adaptation of Scooby-Doo. Now, that's the thing. It greenlit this apparently where it could be done, and we hadn't heard any news about it until just now. Now, what they say is Scooby-Doo has been a pop culture icon since the 1960s, with countless animated iterations of this classic existing, and a series of live-action films in the 2000s. This marks the first time the franchise will be adapted into a live-action television series. And it says that the journey to the screen has been a year in the making. Trades first started reporting this project in April of 2024. But Netflix officially confirmed that it had greenlit it in March of 2025. The series is a collaboration between Warner Brothers Television and Netflix. Now, this is important to know because Warner Brothers is now owned by Netflix, so you can expect this to maybe push forward. If there was any sort of problem with this series, they no longer have that problem. The creative team is led by Josh Applebaum and Scott Rosenberg, who will serve as showrunners and writers. They operate under their Midnight Radio banner alongside executive producers Sarah Shetner, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced that name, Andre Nemec, and Jeff Pinkner. Netflix subscribers may recognize Midnight Radio as the people who were behind the Cowboy Bebop adaptation. They are also known for the MGM Plus hit series From and writing credits on Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. Producing powerhouse Greg Berlanti, who is no stranger to any type of TV show. Berlanti Productions has a massive history with Warner Brothers TV, aka the Arrowverse. So this show is being done by the people who brought you the Arrowverse is another reason that now that they own Warner Brothers, this looks like this is becoming something that is going to happen. Now, does Scooby-Doo get a new title? Well, the Scooby-Doo Netflix series has been given the title Scooby-Doo Origins, although this has not been confirmed that this title is correct. And as far as we know, it could just end up being called Scooby-Doo, Where Are You, Scooby-Doo, or any other title that Scooby-Doo is famous for. It appears that this series will serve as an origin story, but it will have a twist on how the gang meets. Unlike previous origin stories about these characters, where they often establish that they were friends, this one ventures into what is the new kid in town trope. So a new kid's going to come into town, find out that there's some strange stuff going on, and yeah. Now what it says is that this is a modern reimagining of the iconic mystery-solving group of teens and their very special dog. During their final summer at camp, old friends Shaggy and Daphne get embroiled in a haunting mystery surrounding a lonely, lost Great Dane puppy that may have been witness to a supernatural murder. And together they work with the pragmatic, scientific townie, Velma, and the strange, but ever so handsome new kid, Freddy. They set out to solve the case, pulling each of them into a creepy nightmare that threatens to expose all of their secrets. Additional plot tells are available in the synopsis published by Production Weekly. So once you see something in Production Weekly, you kind of do know that it's true. Usually Production Weekly is not giving out false information. And it says, however, it's unclear if this alternate log line is official and if all the details are correct. It says an origin story of how the Mystery Inc. group got together and first teamed up to crack a haunting case that started it all. During their final summer at Camp Ruby Spears, old friends Shaggy and Daphne get embroiled in the mystery surrounding the Great Dane puppy that may have witnessed a murder that is supernatural. Together, they team with Townie, Velma, and Freddy. So that is what we're being told. And apparently, the first episode is simply titled Scooby-Doo. Now, early live-action adaptations were the two films, which were penned by James Gunn. And from this, we can kind of interpret that this is going for more of a Stranger Things tone. Maybe actually having legitimate scares and being grounded somewhat. So the James Gunn movies, if you didn't see them, were a little bit funny. They were a little bit crazy at times, but overall they were pretty good. I enjoyed them for what they were. They actually made fun of the sort of blatant silliness that was the original cartoon. And that's what made them work. That's what made them okay. Now, you could say that James Gunn leans into the silly, and you would be right. He does in that case. That doesn't mean that every James Gunn project is silly, and it doesn't mean that every James Gunn project going forward would be. But it does stand to reason that that one was, and this one is going to take a much more serious tone. So I do like this news, and I hope that this goes through, because even though it does say that it has been announced, and even though they do say that this is going to happen, there is an off chance that the pilot just doesn't go well, or they decide the budget is too high. It doesn't mean just because something is confirmed to go into production that it is in fact going to happen. Although with this one, I kind of hope it's true. I hope that we get to see this series, and I look forward to finding out what Netflix is going to do with a more realistic Stranger Things type of adaptation of Scooby-Doo. But that, my friends, is where I'm going to leave it off to you guys. What do you think about this news? Does it excite you? Does it not excite you? Do you think that Netflix should leave this alone? Do you think that this should be something that is only reserved for animation? Or do you think a live action version of this show could actually work? But whatever you guys are thinking, I want to hear from each and every one of you. So make sure you're leaving me those comments. Make sure you share this video with all of your friends so that they don't miss a single video we do. And then friends, if you like positive content, you're going to want to hit that like button, let the algorithm know. It can't hurt, it can only help. Maybe we even make a difference and YouTube starts giving you more positive content. And if you like our videos personally, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, so you never miss a single video we do. Because friends, at the end of the day, I know it and you know it, and my own personal Scooby-Doo here, Miko, knows it. Fandom is family.